Hello everyone, this is Dr. Reed Etter here again, coming to you live from my living room. Today I wanted to talk about the HPA axis. Okay, so we had talked about the autonomics previously. We had the sympathetic and parasympathetic branches. Sympathetic is running from a bear. You're amped up, you're stressed out, okay? The body is releasing all sorts of adrenal hormones like cortisol to balance you out, adrenaline, those kinds of things. Parasympathetics rest and digest, and that is, happening when we're healing and when we're recovering, that kind of thing, when we're sleeping. We want to be more in this system throughout the day, right? So a part of this that I wanted to talk about was the HPA axis. That is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, okay? So that's a pretty important thing. So you got people that deal with anxiety or stressed out, and that's pretty much everybody at this point. It just depends on the severity. We're talking about dysregulation of the HPA axis, okay? So that first part of that is the hypothalamus, okay? This is the brain. This is going to be a pretty horrible drawing. I apologize in advance. But, okay, here's the thalamus generally. Hypothalamus is down here, okay? That's the hypothalamus. And then we have this little kind of, bilobal sac that comes off called the pituitary. So we have the hypothalamus and pituitary, so they're pretty closely related structures. Then hormones that are secreted here, they come down, they wind down, and they go to our adrenal glands, okay? The adrenal glands sit on top of the kidneys, so I'll kind of make it look like this. Okay? Adrenal means adrenal. That means on top of the renal glands, which renal means kidneys. So this is the problem for almost everyone, our adrenals, okay? Our adrenals secrete cortisol. They secrete things like, that helps us manage stress basically. It also decreases inflammation, helps give us clarity. This is why people are addicted to coffee, because coffee does all the things that cortisol should be doing normally. So people should be waking up at 7, 8 a.m. and already feeling clear and have energy. So you hear people that say, oh, I can't live without coffee. Well, then their cortisol is blown out from improperly managed stress, okay? Then you also have things like adrenaline. I know you probably can't read this very well. Adrenaline, also known as epinephrine. Those are the two main things. You also have other hormones, but those are the two main that I want to focus on, okay? That's what happens when people are stressed out. They start blowing out these hormones. This is also why people have an addiction to adrenaline these days. People are always addicted to moving and doing things, and that's cool, but it's a little excessive, right? So the reason why, well, I guess I'll say this. I'm starting at the brain here, hypothalamus pituitary, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do every single day to help modulate the hypothalamus pituitary part that communicates to the adrenals. Because if these are wigged out, the adrenals will be wigged out too, because it gets information from those two organs, okay? Those two little brain organs up there. Now, one way you can help to do this is by getting back to 0 point energy is what I call it, right? So most people in the waking state, their brain waves are like this. They're really fast, okay? That transduces a signal into the body that creates a lot of stress, and so we need to try to auto-regulate that pathway, because then what happens, the body's overusing things like cortisol and adrenaline, and it's not necessary because you're not in a war, but the body kind of thinks that you are, okay? So one thing that you want to do every single day is just, this sounds very simple, but spend 5 to 10 minutes a day just completely relaxing your head. Relax your entire head, especially your jaws. When people are stressed out, they tighten their jaws. The TMJ is a huge neurological relationship to the hypothalamus and pituitary. That's why people have a lot of TMJ problems out of stress. Just relax the jaw, relax the head. Really focus on that. Then go to your upper traps. That's where people hold a lot of stress, okay? The stress response. When we hear a lot of noise or we're scared, we do this. Just relax all of that. Relax. Then just find an even breathing pattern. I'm not talking about doing huge breaths in and out. I'm not really a firm believer in that. Just breathe normally, not even too hard. Just find a good rhythm, okay? Put your hand over your belly button, breathe in and out through the belly button. Try to do it for like 5 to 10 minutes, and don't think too hard about anything. What that's going to do is going to reset the brain waves in the brain. They're going to start, instead of doing this, they're going to start doing like this. Okay? Your brain will get used to that rhythm. It will send that information to your adrenals, so you're not blowing out cortisol and adrenaline all day and blowing out your hormones that really manage stress. That way you have some left over to manage the stress that you already have, and we all have a lot of stress, okay? So 5 to 10 minutes of that whole relaxation breathing technique I was just talking about, that's going to help auto-regulate the hypothalamus pituitary and get the adrenal axis working better. That's going to help you manage stress. It's going to help you not have food sensitivities, all that stuff, reactions to stuff, food sensitivities, immune weakness, all has to do with adrenal function, which starts with the hypothalamus and pituitary. All right, so get on that. That's it. Have a wonderful day, and I hope you learned something.